Hey everybody, I'm the Pigglesworth, and welcome back to AlphaCraft. Here we are out here in front of the base, and things look quite different, don't they? Yes, they do. You saw in that little time lapse the leveling of a mountainside. That Avomance cubbyhole over there that used to exist is no longer there. That is long gone, and this has been quite a bit of work. Leveling and then re-terraining. And I wanted to show this first because some people had said in the comments they were curious to see how I was going to hide this. What I've done is I had to leave this spot open. It is what it is. It's got to be open so that depending on where you're, I'll show you what I mean, where you're facing when you go to throw an ender pearl, there has to be an opening. I'll go and grab that ender pearl. We're not going to actually throw it, but see, I could aim a little low. I could aim a little high, and so you have to account for all the different angles that a person would be looking at when they were going to throw. Now, let's see here. Let's go and do this. I know my inventory is just absolutely full, isn't it? I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to jump over there and show you this. So you might notice right now that there's a little opening right there. I've done a bunch of measurements and a bunch of testing, and I've got this thing to work properly where it will throw you through the tunnel without hitting stuff. But the problem is you have to aim just right on this thing. Otherwise, you don't bounce correctly. It's a little finicky. So what we're going to do is go down here, and I'm going to try this. I haven't fully experimented to the point where I know exactly, but I think you have to face at least level and then maybe tilt slightly up. Okay? So we're going to hold right, step forward. Yep, that looked good. That looked good because I want to hit near the end of this slime block, and it's going to toss us in. There's water, Piggy. What happened? What did you do? Well, I set up water here for a reason. This is going to mean something eventually. So you just have to trust me. But let's swim back through here, and I'm going to show you what I've done. I've gone ahead and enclosed all of this. Oop, swam too high. Enclosed all of this. This is all half slab now. So you can see the full block there, and that's a half slab. So all of this is slab now. It's just, a straight up tunnel. I've not done any decorating or anything. But basically what I did is I set this up so that if you throw your ender pearl short, you'll land in the water, so that you won't take a lot of damage. And then, there's a way to walk out, or there's a way to walk up into the base. So I basically made a fail-safe, so in case your throw is bad, you don't get stuck somewhere weird that you can't get in or out. And this is the little tunnel as it is. So when you get up close to it, you can see that there's a tunnel. There's not too much I can do because when you're facing that, you can face, let's see, we're facing this block where you could be off-kilter. You could be facing slightly turned. All of those slight moves over this great distance causes you to move over a block from side to side, and it can make your angle short or long, so that's kind of like a little fail-safe. But I'm loving this mountain. This mountain's really starting to look good. Now, I've got an idea that I came up with for the gate. It's just a very subtle change, but one thing was I went ahead and put snow on top of those beams, and I feel like it really makes those beams stick out now. Everything was starting to kind of blend, and that snow-capped beam makes that beam really stick out now. Now, another idea I'm thinking about doing is maybe taking some of this snow and making it look like maybe it has built up and it's poured over, and maybe even made its way down there and stacked up. So I'm going to experiment a little bit with that. Just kind of spreading the snow around so that now that we've got this gate and everything's built, you cover it with some snow and other stuff, and it really looks organic. It looks lived in. It looks like it's been there for a while. Events of nature have happened to it, and so it just makes it look so much better. But what we're going to work on today, I had to build this mountain so that we could get working on it. Now, do you notice anything that looks suspicious? Is there anything that looks very suspicious through here? Yes, there is. We're going to put ourselves a river through here. We're also going to build ourselves a waterfall. Now, there's something very special about this waterfall that we're going to do. And this is one of the first ideas that hit me when I saw the new 1.14 snapshot and the stuff that was available. As soon as I saw it, I got to thinking, I wonder if I could do this with a waterfall. And I did some testing, and it worked. So the whole time you've been watching this series, all 25 episodes, what are we on? Episode 25, 26, something like that. And I've been putting out at least one a week. So for at least, well, no, there for a while I was putting out 2 episodes a week. So we can say at least for 2 or 3 months now, maybe. I have been holding this idea in my head and crossing my fingers, hoping that no one else on YouTube would come up with this idea. Now, I'm sure somebody somewhere has done this, but I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen somebody do it, so I think we might be doing a first here, but I'm going to do something really cool with this waterfall. What we're going to do is we're going to strip out the bottom layer, because, see, I want the water level to be level with these blocks. So what I've got to do is I've got to cut down the layer one block so that we can leave enough for water to be layered here, because then we're going to come back and we're going to build ourselves a riverbed. And what we're going to do is we're going to think about the logic about how water, rushing water, moving particles, and rocks works. And we're going to design this riverbed to make some logical sense. Different washouts and stuff like that. Just different things going on. And then we're going to do something really, really cool with this waterfall. So I've got a little bit of off-camera work to just do some experimenting and stripping this out. But I want to show you something real quick. There's actually 2 things before I cut. Okay? There is 2 things that need to be done. One, we're going to run over to the nether, or not the nether, the end, because notice my shovel's almost destroyed. And I can't remember if I showed this upgrade that I did at the Ender or not. So we're going to run over there and look at that real quick. And then we have got to go over to the post office in town to deliver a piggy head. I've got at least one around here. There we go. I was going to say there's been a few little mishaps over in this area working on this stuff. So you know what? And I've got all this stuff in my inventory. Oh my gosh, there's just junk everywhere. Oh, Pig's work is never done, I tell you what. So we're going to meet over at the Ender so I can show you its little upgrade this shovel. We're going to go over to the post office box to show you something there. And then we're going to come back over here and we're going to start working on a riverbed and a super awesome waterfall. So I've got my mob sounds turned down so we don't have to listen to these guys crying. This is true. They cry. Because watch. They cry. But they don't. Oh, it's so quiet. I love it. So one of the things that I was noticing a couple times I was over here trying to get XP so that I could level up my, or not level up, but so I could just, get XP for my tools for mending. Look, see how there's ender pearls and there's a head sitting there? There's all this stuff just sitting there, right? Well, I can't reach any of that. Not without getting perilously into the middle of the mix. And we're not about to jump in a mosh pit with a bunch of Endermen. That would not end well, I tell you what, in the end. Now, my inventory is full, so I'm not picking all these up. But if you notice something, underneath these half slabs are a bunch of hoppers. Why, there are hoppers down there, Piggy. What are you doing? Well, I ran these hoppers over here, over to this chest, and check this out. Ooh, some people have been over here. Oh my gosh. So now we've got a way to collect ender pearls, in case we need them, because we're definitely going to need them for that launcher that we built. It's just nice to have ender pearls to throw around. You know what? I want to get a few more levels. Because the other thing is, now that I've got that launcher, all we've got is Unbreaking 3 boots. I would really like to get feather falling on those boots. And I don't know if anybody has a feather falling villager. I'm going to have to check and see. But if they don't, it'd be a good idea to level up so that we can maybe make a pair of diamond boots to combine with our Unbreaking that has feather falling. That way, our boots last much, much longer. And we don't take fall damage whenever we hit the ground. That would be great, I tell you. But yeah, I thought this would be just a nice little add-on to Frilios. Ender right here is just a way to capture the ender pearls and store them in case one person needs them and somebody else doesn't, and a way to get these Enderman head. I mean, there's a more fancy way of doing this, building a sorting system and whatnot. I don't know if this is going to be like the permanent setup or not, but if it is, we've got this, and we can always expand it. If it isn't, we've got this, and we can always tear it down. So just a nice little, addition. The storage, and then, setting up this so that we can do enchanting, disenchanting, and all that. And looky there. I got my lumbering pig transport. I've got Piggy's paraphernalia. I've got something for stones. We got something for our jewels. Jools. Raise your hand if you know where that comes from. Why would you spell it Jools? Because yes, that is the incorrect way of spelling it. We're going to go ahead and now I'm going to have to do a cut right here, an edit, because when I jump through this portal, it's going to send us all the way back to base. I don't want to go all the way back to base and then all the way back to Alpha by Water. That's going to be boring for y'all to watch. So I'm going to meet you over at the Ender portal by Alpha by Water, because there's one other cool thing we need to see, and then we're going to go check out the post office. All right. We are running through the nether from base. Right over here. Oh, there's something. There's something. What is this? What is this? Now, if you've been watching other Alpha's channels, which this is a great time to plug that. If you're not, what are you doing? Go down there in the description box and click on the different links. You can see all the links to the different Alphas on AlphaCraft and go check out all their videos. You can see what in the world they're up to. They're up to some pretty cool stuff. That's what they're up to. But we have got this nether hub built. This was built by JJ and Wild. And they got it finished. It's looking great. Now the lower deck looks like it needs just a little bit of work still to go ahead and get rid of that nether rack and to finish all that up. But I tell you what, everything's looking great. And here's what's awesome. West tunnel, south tunnel, east tunnel, north tunnel. And you know what? I live in Texas, so it would make sense that I lived in the south tunnel, right? I'm a southern pig, I tell you what. We're going to go and hop through here because we need to go to AlphaCraft Central, Spawn Central. Whoop. And get oriented correctly. There we go. I want to see how the lumbering pig is doing. I haven't checked over here in just a little while. Well, make sure that we've got a tool, something that's not going to hurt anything. And notice this. See how that's a little pig? See how I've got 44 carrots? I'm going to squat and right click so we can look in their inventory. Okay. See the sparkles? Watch the carrot on the bottom right. 43, 44. And then that. So it's actually feeding them, but then the plugin is saying, no, you can't feed them. They're not actual pigs. They're shopkeepers. So try as I might to pay these guys in carrots, the game's not going to let us. Oh, we need to add some more dark oak logs. Let's see what else we got going on here. Nothing there. That looks good. How we doing stock-wise here? Zender, you doing good, buddy? Yep. So it seems like we got enough people have bought mending books, so we've saturated the market. So Mr. Zender is just going to sit there for a while. And then the weekly special, we sold those to Frill, and then we haven't sold anything else, it looks like. Now, I need to swap this out with something else. But somebody else, another viewer, had a great idea, which was, why don't we put an item frame, and then inside the item frame, we can put what is the weekly special. So when somebody walks in here, they can just immediately see the image of what the weekly special is, instead of having to go up to Mr. Shopkeeper, let's do it correct, there we go, and seeing what the special is, which would be just great. So we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to get some item frames, and I'm trying to decide, because I think I want to do at least 2 item frames. Might keep item frames, in storage or something here and bring them out. Like we've got 1, 2. Actually, we would have to change these to wool blocks. We've got 1, 2. I think you can put item frames on fence posts, right? If you can, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots that we could put images of weekly specials, so we could have up to 4 items at one time as a weekly special. So that could be a good idea. We'll think about doing that. Let's see here. I think down here is where the... Yep, there it is. Hello, post office. What does this say? Food court. There, I may not be the greatest authority on food, but there is no food here. I can tell you that right now. So we've got this all set up right here. Let's see. I'm going to look for our name. KB, JJ, Louis. Oh, it's all alphabetical. Okay. So we're going to take our pig head, Did people rename their heads? Can you rename a head and when somebody looks at it, it'll show a name? I don't think so. Let's just, boop. There we go. There's my piggy head. Vacant. With skulls. You guys sure are empty-headed. I guess that explains the vacant. But here's the thing. There's no mail. But there's mail. But there's no mail. But there's mail. See, there's something special that has to happen for us to be able to get our mail to go into that post office box. That is a cool idea. It looks like lights. That is so cool. I love that. Awesome. But yeah, oh, look, and like a little table over here. That is so cool. But here's the way this is supposed to work. I'm supposed to have a special token, and I put that token in here, and that token will unlock my mailbox and will send my mail to right here. So that's how I check my mail. I don't check my mail by looking in my mailbox. This is how you give mail to me. So you run over here and you're like, I want to give something to Piggy. You open that. Let's give Piggy some carrots. See how they disappeared? So whatever was there before plus carrots is now in the mailbox. But we have to have a token, and I don't have a token. I don't know what to make for a token. I've been kicking around some ideas, but I'm not quite certain. But here's the deal. It can be any item in Minecraft, and what we're going to do with that item is we're going to stick it in an anvil and rename it. And then that is going to be our key that's going to unlock our mailbox. So what I want you to do is go down in the description box below, and I want you to put your ideas for what should be our key item, like our item, and what should we name it. So there's two things that need to be voted on. So there may be a majority of one item, and then there might be a majority on a different name, something like that. Unless the name has nothing to do with the item. We'll kind of play it by ear. Or since we're a pig, I'm going to mess up the joke. We'll play it by tail. Yeah, because pigs have tails. Oh my gosh. So y'all get your ideas down there. I'm going to let it go for a couple of episodes to see what it is that we should use for tokens. So Frill, I'm not slacking off. We're going to do a little experiment here, let the audience be involved. And y'all let me know, what do you think should be my item, my token, my key, and what should it be called? So y'all get that down in there. I'm going to run back over to the base. I'm going to get started on working on this waterfall, and I'm going to show you this super awesome thing that we're going to do to sell this waterfall as being one of the coolest waterfalls ever, all right? So I'll just sit tight, and we'll meet back over at the base. And here we are under the bridge. Under the bridge downtown. No, not really. But yeah, we are here. We are underneath the bridge. Now, I've not quite finished this spot right here. Still experimenting a little bit. But I thought it would be interesting to kind of set this up like this. Now, what's so awesome is now we can waterlog half slabs and stairs so we can get really, really cool effects and not have to worry about weird looking water patterns or air bubbles showing up underneath. So what I've done here is I've tried to use logic to think about how water works, how streams work, how rushing water works, and to try and build a path accordingly, okay? So we've got water that will be falling down right here, and it's going to be moving very, very fast. So that means we're going to end up with a bunch of stones right through here and maybe a little bit of silt and deposit in some of the spots where the water wouldn't be like coming directly down as an impact on the stone. Like right here, it's going to go downwards and then it's going to wash forwards and start moving in this way. So maybe it's slowed down just enough from its downward fall that some silt would start to build up here. So that's why I've got a little bit of this gravel here. And then I thought it would be cool if we had just like a little bitty island. Just a little bit of island kind of sticking out. So I've got making it look like there's a little bit of mud. Maybe we got some greenery and some stones on here. So all that stays nice and spawn proof. And since this is in the way, water's going to wash around. Maybe some silt would build up right here. And then it's going to wash back down here. So wherever I think that water might slow down, either because it's changing direction or because the area has leveled out, that's where I've put just a little bit of silt showing up. We got a little drop off right here. That water kind of washes down, so it leaves some gravel behind, but the finer particles in the water keep washing down. And then it starts to flatten out down here. Now we got a little bit of stones and gravel deposits. Maybe because the water's moving so fast, it causes a washout right here, and then the water starts to slow down. And so over time, this area doesn't erode as much. That's the idea. And then because we've got this this pillar, for lack of a better word, right here, you've got water rushing this way, and then it's going to divert. It's either going to go to the left or the right. And as it does that, it'll wash by, and it'll keep kind of moving this way, like triangular, just slightly. So this ends up being kind of like a slowdown spot. So we get some gravel and some silt building up right in here. Now, like I said, I still need to fill this in. And I'm still experimenting where spots might be where dirt would build up. Like right in here, we might want to put some dirt right in here too. But another thing I got to thinking about was we have got mossy cobble variants that we can work with. And so it might be pretty cool to think about. You know, you've got the sun moving up and going down. And which way is north? South, north. So for some reason, on north-facing things is where you get moss growing. It's a really, really strange phenomenon. I'm not quite certain why it is that. I'm sure there's a reason for it, but I don't know. So I thought it would be cool if maybe we went through. Now, of course, you can see green all the way around, but maybe on stuff that would be more facing north, you would see green. See, like this way, we're not going to see much moss. But on this side, a north-facing side piece, maybe we can see some mossy stuff showing up. Let's do this. Let's do that. That looks a little bit more shapely, for lack of a better word. Not so square. Now that we've got so many half slabs and stairs that matches other natural items, it's a good idea to go ahead and incorporate those in and, just make use of them. We've been crying for them for so long. Mojang was nice enough to put them in the game. Maybe we should use them, right? Instead of our crying and not ever get anything. There we go. That's another north facing. And let's see. I've got some more mossy cobble. Let's do this. Let's put a little bit of color. Ooh, you see that down there? Yes, you do. And you might have seen in the time lapse that I dug so much that a lot of this area was flattened out. I ended up with a lot of space underneath that didn't have. I didn't want to build it back up, is what it amounts to. So I went ahead and just filled it with half slabs. But now we can fill this area with water, and it's going to look like a really cool flowing rapid. But we've also got this waterfall we need to do. Now, I know what you're saying. Piggy, what's the big deal? You've been going on about this waterfall. I watched the whole episode, and you still haven't fulfilled on this this promise you got going on this waterfall. I don't know if you see anything interesting in my inventory, but we're going to try something really cool here. So right here, and I think I want to do it this way, because if you're looking over here, I don't want you to ever get a chance to notice that there are signs here. Here's your sign. Now, the cool thing about these signs is that water can flow over them. So that means, if you came over here, you could swim down and then get trapped down there because there's no water flowing down there for you to get back up. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's put a bucket of water here, and a bucket of water here, and a bucket of water here. Now those are combined. Now we've got... Uh-oh, that's not working right. I'll have to scoop that in just a minute. But see how the water's flowing over that? And we don't have to worry about water dropping down in there. That's very important, because here's what we're going to do. Here's the cool effect. We're going to use campfires. I know, counterintuitive, right? But trust me on this, okay? So what I've done is I placed down a campfire, and I counted how many blocks does the smoke go. Now, I'm not saying how many blocks they go in total. I'm wanting to know how far will the smoke go before it becomes ineffectual or it becomes something that's no big deal that you can't see. And I counted 8. So we need to stay within a range of 8. See, I'll show you what this looks like underneath here. It's very dark and spooky, but it's all safe. So what we want to do is in each spot where we've got this, we want to put a campfire. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and then this would be, if we got rid of this half slab, it would be 4. So let's do that. That's 4. Let's go ahead and tear this up so that we can match this pattern above us first. Let's see, is that diagonal? And then this is diagonal. And then that, and that. Is it 2 or 3? Okay, we got 3 here. Okay, and then that one drops down. So let's see here. So we said we've got, let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do 7 right here. And I need to make sure I'm not in that trough before I break this. Because if I'm down in here when we break it, I'm going to end up with a campfire on my face. And that will not be a good thing. Let's see here. What I want to do, I think I want to do is let's go ahead and do all of these first. And then we'll do campfires. And so that way we don't have to worry about falling into it. And let's see here. I want this one to be, these two to be a little bit higher. So I think that will work. All right, so let campfire it away. Now the only downside to this is a light source, so we're going to be able to see the light coming out. But now we got smoke coming out. But this is not going to be smoke. Whoop! Now I haven't got any water, so it's not going to completely work. It's going to ruin the effect. I know, first chance to make a first impression, and Piggy goes and ruins it. But look what we got coming out of there. What does that look like to you? It's steam. Or mist. See, here's my thought process. You've got really, really cold water coming down from the top of the mountain. We're going to end the snow somewhere right around in here. And we're going to taper this down quite a bit. Well, we got this river coming down from the really, really cold upper regions. And it's making its way down here very quickly so it doesn't have time to warm up. And it's crashing down there. It's crashing down there and two things are happening. One, water is misting because it naturally mists. But the other thing is the difference in temperature. Maybe the sun beating down on some stones, warming them up or something. We're getting a little bit of steam coming from the water. Isn't that so cool? Yeah, it's so cool. And there's not even any water there. Trust me on this, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish this little spot here. We're going to fill this whole thing up with water. We're going to come back and we're going to take a look at our waterfall with mist and steam. And I thought we would start out here at night because I wanted you to see what I meant when I said that there's going to be a little bit of light that's going to be given off from the waterfall. So let's go ahead and step up here and take a look. And take a look. Isn't that so cool? Oh my gosh, we've got... Now, I wish that there was a way... I know that I probably could have experimented with changing layers, because I know that water will go 8 blocks before it stops showing the flowing animation. So we probably could have experimented a little bit more with elevation to get it to look flowing, but I think it's okay. I think it works. The flowing animation kind of draws our eyes to the rapids right in here, and then we just accept that this is water. It works. It'll work okay. But that right there, the misting of the water at the bottom of the waterfall is so awesome. And like I said, since before I started my first episode on AlphaCraft, when 1.14 Minecraft came out and we got campfires, I came up with this idea, and I couldn't wait to get this thing built so that I could get this idea incorporated. I'm just loving it. It is looking so cool. Went ahead and extended out the mountain range just a little bit because we can see that my torch boundary that I've set up is right there. And this is a natural hill area that generated in the map. So I figured I would just kind of tie it in with that and let it transition into the natural settings. And then we would go up here and maybe flatten that off a little bit so it looks like water over time is cut into the side of the mountain. And then the mountain range continues on. Now I haven't continued the snow yet. I'll still have to bring that over so that transitions a little bit better. And I feel like I probably need to bring some snow down here just a little bit. I know over here we had our slide, our avalanche, and that's why we've got snow down everywhere. But even right in here, we can see some snow has not melted, so maybe I need to bring a little bit more down. But I don't know if you can notice, there's different colors going on up there. And we're going to run over here and sleep because that whole area is not completely safe. So I don't know that that I am or am not going to be able to run around there and not get killed. And look, what is that, Piggy? How did you do that trick? Well, watch this. Whoop. So, I'd seen a video where Drama Smith was using a mod plugin to show off light levels for things. And so I found, see, that little stinker, how did you spawn there? I thought that area was safe. I'm going to have to look at that. Speaking of, I'm going to hit F7. See how we can see yellows down there? It shows yellow on top of grass, but I know that grass won't spawn. Maybe double high grass is spawning. I don't know. I'm going to leave F7 on for just a minute. We're going to run over here, and I'll show you that we can see where... You know what? I bet you were right there along that edge where I have not lit up well enough yet. Or not lit up, but have it half-slabbed well enough yet. Your stinker spawned right about in here, didn't you? Maybe he came from here and moved over that way? Because I think the rest of this is safe. It's all got grass. So nothing should be spawning. And I don't think I haven't seen mobs spawn with flowers. So I don't think that's what it is. I'll have to do some more testing. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Yeah, but I can't remember what the name of the mod is that I'm using. Let's see, options. I don't think I can check a mod list in this. I would have to back out of the game to do it, but I'll try and see if I can figure out. But look what we're doing. I finally found a use for diorite. I can't believe it. Now, it's funny. I tweeted this out about a week or two ago, and I'd also put in my Discord, hey, I finally figured out a use for diorite. And then somebody in my Discord promptly said, well, you know, my use for diorite is to make dirty-looking snow for mountains. So way to go. Yeah, the exact same idea. Great minds think alike, which is awesome. So what I've been doing is just kind of going through. Now this right here, this is snow. So I'll have to do that. And what's so awesome is because we've got Silk Touch on our shovel. Another viewer clued me in on this. You can simply shovel the snow layer and you get the snow layer instead of worrying about getting snowballs, converting them to blocks, converting those blocks to snow layers. So I've been over at the snow farm also, just getting snow layers instead. Let's see here. I want to do that and that. Let's get this one right here because we don't want to have extreme right angles or anything. We want stuff to look like it transitions a bit. And so it would kind of make sense. We've got this right here. Let's go ahead and make that one a diorite half slab if we can. Oh, my inventory is completely full. That's why I can't move it around. No, come here. You need to be right there. Let's get rid of the gunpowder. We don't need that. At least for now, we don't need that. There we go. And then what I've been doing also is wherever I've got diorite as looking like dirty snow, to transition it to the smooth gray, I'm using some andesite as well because we've got a very similar pattern. So it's not as abrupt, like see that to that? Quite a difference. But if we can get andesite around it, you don't notice the transition is so abrupt. So like here we've got some dirty snow and then it just kind of transitions in through here. Did I hear pillagers? I don't know if I did or not. Maybe I heard a sound in the other room in the living room of my house, and I thought it was a pillager. See, I'd had some pillagers spawn up here earlier, and I hadn't had a chance to kill them. I killed 2 of them, and I think the rest are behind this mountain, so we might have some trap back in there. I'm going to jump up here real quick. I'll show you what I mean with this diorite. So we just kind of got it, you know, sporadic, kind of spread throughout. Right now I'm just kind of experimenting with what does it look like and how would it fit. But I think what I want to do is once we get to the further snow-capped peaks, we're going to use a lot of diorite so that still has white and snow, but it also has some different texture in it. So it definitely stands out behind all of this. But that waterfall, Oh my gosh, that waterfall is so cool. And you have got to get really close to it to notice that there is spots that you can fall down. So if somebody comes up really close to the waterfall, they'll notice it. But you just get a few blocks away, you get just a few blocks away where you angle it right, you can't even see. You just see the smoke, so it looks like steam. That's so cool. Such a cool effect. I love it. Oh my gosh. So this area is slowly starting to come together once we can get the mountainside and a lot of the ground just shaped and figured out the way we want. Then we can start adding in some vegetation and stuff just to make this look a little bit more established. And pretty soon we're going to have ourselves a pretty sweet looking entrance to the base. And then we can start focusing on the base. Just loving how all this area is coming together. It's so nice to see a project in your mind and to actually see that project start to piece together. Even if you didn't see all the pieces, love it. But if you enjoyed this episode, please click that like button. And if you're not already subscribed and you want to be, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And I think I just said the same thing twice. I'm not certain. I said, like the video and subscribe. Yeah, that's what I said. Oh my gosh, sometimes it's just autopilot and I say it and don't even think about what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I totally messed it all up. If you want to be notified, click the bell notification. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and work on a little bit more of this, try and get this a little bit more natural, a little bit more snow, a little bit more blended. Yeah, you blend. That snow's got to blend so that it doesn't look abrupt. It looks nice. But I'm going to try and get all that stuff set up and get it ready for next episode. And that is when I hope to see you is in the next episode of AlphaCraft.